Hey everyone, before we dive into the details, take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your people, drop a comment below because I really want to hear what you think about this one. Hey, trust me, it's wild. So I came across this old clip the other day, It's from like 3 years ago, but somehow it feels more relevant than ever, especially after everything that just went down this past Easter. The timing, almost too perfect. What Tiffany says in this video. The irony is next level. You couldn't script this better if you tried. So tonight, we're peeling it back, digging into a moment that aged like irony in a wine cellar. Let's go. So, picture it's early pandemic, full-on Zoom life. Back when nobody could figure out how to unmute themselves and we were all just little floating heads in boxes. In this clip, Tiffany, who, let's be honest, has always had a flair for theatrics, decided to address a situation that had popped up in the village. Naturally, she couldn't let it go unnoticed and jumped on camera to make a statement. And let me tell you, even through a screen you could feel the heat. She kicked things off with a full-blown warning. Board of Trustees and residents, I need everyone to understand there is no trespassing at the old village hall. She said it with so much intensity you'd think someone just broke into Area 51. The way she emphasized trespassing, you'd swear this was a national security emergency. She then explained she'd been getting some pretty disturbing reports apparently. Someone had been sneaking into the old village hall without permission. And Tiffany? She was not having it. She made it abundantly clear it doesn't matter if you're a former employee, a regular community member, or just someone being nosy if you didn't have official clearance. You were breaking the rules. Period. No exceptions. Then she drops the bomb. How did they even get the access code? Right there, you could tell this wasn't just about village policy. It was personal. This wasn't about protecting the building. This was about defending her authority. She took it even further, warning that anyone caught entering the premises without clearance would be prosecuted to the fullest extent. She made it sound like trespassing in the village hall was on par with embezzlement or election fraud. And honestly, at first you might think, okay, she's just being responsible. Maybe she's genuinely worried about safety or legal exposure. But then Tiffany added the kicker. She said it had been brought to her attention that a former Village of Betton employee was seen wearing a Village of Betton uniform. Boom. That's the twist. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about sneaking into a building, it was about impersonating staff. And according to Tiffany, wearing that uniform when you're no longer employed? That's not just shady, that's illegal. Literally, called it impersonating a government worker. She started using words like criminal offense, like she was starring in some spin-off of Law and Order, Municipal Edition, the person she was calling out. Someone she personally fired back in 2021, not long after she took over and started overhauling things in Betton. Now keep up, because this is where the irony really kicks in. That fired employee, they hadn't worked there in years, but according to Tiffany, they were still spotted out and about, wearing official-looking village gear, not just a hoodie. We're talking legit logoed apparel. And from her reaction, you'd think they were leading a full-blown government overthrow in a polo, and then no, yes, Tiffany, with her whole chest, declared, once you've been fired, you'd no longer work for the Village of Betton. Unmistakable. No room for misinterpretation. Except here's the twist. Fast forward to this Easter, and who do we see front and center at a public event in front of the village building? It's handing out food, speaking to the crowd, taking photos like it's a campaign rally. That's right, Tiffany. She's not the mayor. She's not the supervisor. She's not even on staff. But there she is, at the podium, in front of the village buildings, dressed like it's business as usual, giving out food she didn't pay for, smiling like she's still running things, and suddenly all that talk about uniforms and trespassing apparently doesn't apply if you're Tiffany. Now, the same village merch is no longer impersonation. It's nostalgic branding, apparently. So let's break this down. If you wear the gear after being fired, you're impersonating a government worker. But if she does it, it's leadership. It's giving double standards. It's giving cosplay. Like she threw on the supermayor costume for one last community theater performance. And let's be real, the way she stared into that Zoom camera when she made that original warning. That wasn't professionalism. That was personal. That was about control. There's even been chatter that maybe, just maybe, there was more behind her rage. Because if you've been following closely, you remember what started to unravel back in 2020? One specifically, her relationship with Kamal and Kamal. Maybe, just maybe, someone she fired started getting a little attention Tiffany couldn't handle. You know how it goes when power gets mixed with personal feelings. The whole situation turns toxic fast. Now she's out here saying things like, you can't represent the village. You can't wear the logos. You can't be near the building. But girl, you're literally doing all of that. Every single thing you've accused others of, you're out here living it. Like it's opposite day and no one gave us the memo, so. What are we really seeing here? We're seeing someone twist the rules when it suits her and toss them out the window when it doesn't. Tiffany set the rules, then turned around and broke them herself. On camera, at events, in front of everyone. The double standard is loud, the pettiness is louder, and the irony, off the charts. Anyway, y'all, that's the breakdown for tonight. I want to hear from you, You think Tiffany's just being petty? Is this a full-on power trip? Or is there something deeper at play? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you caught the irony. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to send this video to someone who still remembers when Tiffany was actually clocking in. I'll catch y'all in the next ones. Stay sharp, stay vocal. Peace now, Tiffany, girl. Weren't you just the one saying that once you're fired, you can't be out here in village gear? Well, guess what? You got fired. You are officially unemployed. You're not representing the village, you're not on a board, and you're not even chairing the local bake sale. You're not in office. And yet here you are still out in public, acting like you're the queen of betting. Side note, let's talk about that makeup. It's giving orange. It's like bright orange. Like layers of foundation in July. Heat orange. Who's doing that in 2025? That foundation isn't blended. Boo, it's battling. You're not glowing. You're melting. It's not giving public service, it's giving drag brunch in a microwave. But let me really spill the tea. Tiffany has been out here telling the public that anyone caught impersonating a village employee after being fired will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Ma'am, you've been cosplaying as the mayor and the supervisor for how long now? Is this a town hall or a Halloween party? You say the law applies to everyone, so does it apply to you? Because by your own logic, you've been impersonating a public official for years. But of course, it's always different when you do it, right? Okay, now let's pivot real quick to this wig situation. Allegedly, Tiffany dropped a whole $1,000 on that thing. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. $1,000. And for what? That wig looks like it was made from fishing line, craft store scraps, and a glue stick. Not even the good kind, like the clearance bin kind, and that color. Girl, you tried to go blonde, but you ended up with something between yellow, beige, and a bad idea. It's giving DIY bleach fail with a box dye from the dollar store. You're out here trying to serve executive realness. But the wig is screaming Pinterest fail. And let's be honest, did you really go to cosmetology school? Because if you did, somebody skipped class. That lace front isn't fronting anything but confusion. If you dropped $1,000 on that wig, baby, you didn't buy a hairstyle, you bought a life lesson. And while we're keeping it real, let's circle back to that foundation again. It's not matching your tone. It's not even trying. It looks like you used a week's worth of product in one sitting and just hoped for the best. But back to the real issue. You're not the mayor, you're not the supervisor. You don't even have an office, and yet you're popping up at events. In front of village buildings, giving away food you didn't buy, acting like you still run the show. You had the audacity to show up this past Easter like it was your glorious return, girl. Please, you're not making a comeback. You're making a costume change. You're not running anything but your mouth, and don't think we didn't catch how you blew up the whole village gear thing. Like someone walking around in a Dolton hoodie is a safety threat. Girl, they probably just came to grab their stuff. But of course you had to turn it into drama classic Tiffany behavior. And since we're being prophetic, let me hit you with a little prediction. June 7th, 2020. One, you're still in power. But what I'm seeing, March 2024, boom, gone, out. Just like that. And the best part? The person you tried to push out ends up in a better place than you, calm, focused, free. Meanwhile, you're still out here clinging to a title you no longer have, and a wig that should have been retired back in 2020. And now you want to build an ice rink? Name it after why? Our daughter? Baby, that's not legacy, that's vanity. Says in ancient Rome, Tiffany, you're not building a coliseum, you're building cringe. This whole thing, it's too deep. That foundation, it's too thick. That wig, too tragic. And this cosplay mayor act is way too tired. But here's the thing, you could still turn it around. You could stop being petty, stop pretending, stop playing dress up with people's patience. Because right now, you're not running a village, you're running out of time. Okay, I've had my fun, now I'm out. But before I go, y'all know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, and if you're feeling generous, become a member. It helps keep the tea hot and the reads rolling. Take care of yourselves, and Tiffany. Take care of that wig. We're just trying to help. Bye.